I hate a storm, Hail Marys, I make it pour. Good, I ain't lying. You little giants, we been defiant. Rising. What's the cost to be the boss? Breaking down the walls. We all in once the coin gets tossed. Got the kind of action, never acting. No need to scramble to get traction. We make it happen. From 3-4s to 4-3s, we get it cracking. When it's snap, call it saran, cause it's a rap. We knock them out, they taking naps. Yup. Night, lights out. We lit, we intercept the shit and run it back. Fuck it, we running back. Beast mode's how we react. Once we attack, we laying flat. No coming back from that. Facts. Helmet to helmet, shoulder pad to pad. Get cracked till your mouthpiece spit out, you feeling that.
Man, I appreciate you coming on, brother. We got a lot going on. Yeah, Matt loves you, man, and I'm glad I got to introduce you. He played like 7 years for the Jets and the Broncos. And
what years did he play? What years did he play?
He played What years did he play? Oh, I want to say he left Colorado's last good year was 2003, and then he went. And then
so we overlapped for sure then.
Yeah. He was there. Yeah, he was there. He was nice. With the. I think he was with the Jets, and then he went on. But hey, somebody's in the chat for you, and he just texted me to say for you to read it. Eric Weddle's in the chat. Eric Weddle's
Weddle's a man.
Hey, he's on my show every Monday. It's E-Dub Mondays. He said, Urlacher's a legend. Give us all white boys hope.
Shit, he gave us hope, man. Playing safety at his size. Yeah, he's one of my all-time favorite players, man. That dude just worked, got it done, played hard, fast, knocked the shit out of people. He was great to watch.
Hell yeah, we got to go together with Pat and shit. Pat said what's up, too, by the way. He just texted me.
That guy.
Yeah, man.
I'll see him next week. I'll see him they're playing at Rich Harvester. I'm going to go play in their program next Thursday. So I'll see Pat next week. Shit? Yeah.
Man, I might have to come out there with you guys, man.
That's a great golf course, man.
Is it?
Why am I the only one wearing headphones?
We got the mics. We got our headphones laying down, and you can still hear it.
We're doing the big over here, Brian, man. You know, I used to wear the headphones. And,
I used to be the only guy not wearing headphones. Everyone's like, I'm like, what? But now I'm the only one wearing them, so I'm just a little nervous, but okay. If you guys think it's okay.
Now the quality sounds good, so you're good. Okay, good. And pleasure meeting you too, man. Obviously, grew up watching you play. Heard nothing but great things from you from Coach JB and others. So it's excited to have you on, my guy.
Appreciate it, man. Nice talking to you as well.
Yes, sir. Hey, Brian, let me ask you: you watched the game last night, or do you even watch NFL anymore?
Hell yeah, I watched the game. I had a bet.
Hey, am I tripping, or has NFL just become like real hard to watch?
You know, it's different, man. It's not the same anymore as it used to be, but that safety's got to be at the forefront. But shit, Philly plays old school football. They run the football. You know, they hand it off.
50 times.
Last night they ran it. One drive they had like 14 rushes. It was I don't mind watching that. You know, as a defensive guy, it's frustrating because if you can't make a stop, you can't get off the field. Those dudes you're going to be if you're going to be out there for 15, 16 plays on a drive, your ass is going to be tired in that fourth quarter.
Hell yeah. We definitely saw that, man. Me and JB, we've been talking all week long, really, the last 2 weeks about just the quality of football so far. Obviously, it's only been 1 week. We're going into week 2, but what's your overall take on just the quality of football in the NFL right now, this first week and a half? Like, do you think it's kind of going in a downward spiral, or is it just because it's early in the season?
I think it's hard to tell. It's early in the season, you know. The good players are always going to be good. You know, you got the quarterbacks who are always, you know, you got – well, obviously Rodgers is hurt now, but the 5-6 Mahomes, well, Josh Allen played like shit last week, but most of the guys who are really good play well. They are going to have their down weeks, but I don't think the quality is bad. I'm a football fan, so I love watching football. You know, I really enjoy watching college, NFL. My son's a senior in high school, so I love watching high school football back when it was still pure. But yeah, I don't think it's that bad. It sucks for the defensive guys because every rule goes against them. It's terrible. It pisses me off. It's been that way the last 4 or 5 years. It's getting worse. But I don't know. I can't say the quality's gone down because I just, you know, every year there's a player that jumps in there. Like you look at Jordan Love last week for Green Bay. No one knew. Everyone's like, oh, they're going to take a step back. I took a step forward. The kid looked great. You know, he threw the football accurate. They ran the ball. That helps a little bit when you got Aaron Jones back there. But man, it's fun to see these new guys jump in every year that no one knows what they're going to be.
You think Jordan benefits from being behind Aaron for a while, and you can tell the difference compared to these young guys being thrown into the fire, like, you know, Justin Fields, for instance, in Chicago? I mean, you know, he's looking like some of these guys have digressed in front of our very eyes. And it's like, is it because they're thrown into the fire so early in your opinion? Or would it really hurt to sit a couple years behind a guy and learn the game like we used to?
I don't know the answer to that question. Trevor Lawrence is doing pretty well right now. He was throwing the fire, but he's the number 1 overall pick. He got thrown in. He's one of my favorite guys in the NFL. But man, I think it did help Jordan sitting behind a guy like Aaron Rodgers. You know, you look at his mannerisms. There's a lot of stuff Aaron. I think he learned from Aaron in that system, and I think LaFleur does a good job of getting the ball out of their hands. Man, that dude's a smart play caller. I think it has a lot to do with coaching. You know, I hate to say that, but it has a lot to do with coaching because these guys need to be brought along slowly. But I don't know. I mean, Bryce Young, we'll see with him in Carolina, you know, how he does. But it's just hard to tell. There's no right or wrong answer, I don't think. I like that the kid in Indy starting. Richardson, that dude's a beast. I mean, 6'5", 250, whatever he is. I watched that game last week versus Jacksonville. He shows up every once in a while. He's got some flash plays in him.
I love you, Brian. Hey, I love you, man. I'm so glad we brought somebody on this show. No. I'm glad we brought somebody on this show who knows the game, who plays the game at a high level, and can think and speak from a clear point of view with no cloudy judgment. Thank you so much for saying that. JB,
all right,
continue.
JB doesn't like him, obviously. Let's hear it, JB.
Listen,
pissed right now. He's pissed.
Hey, hold on. So my sample size is 1 game. I got 1 game to go off of. So from what I saw, he played pretty damn good. There's some bad throws.
Like Brian, you just said coaching matters in some of these, especially when you're young. You know, Trevor struggled with Urban early. Being a first-year head coach in the NFL, you could see he struggled. They get an NFL coach in there, Peterson, and then it looks like night and day.
Just take it off, man.
Steichen's doing the same thing with AR5. Like, do what he can do. Let's not go out here and drop back and try to be Tom Brady. Let's go sprinkle in some double, triple options, some RPO shit, which they did. And he's such a freak. He played within the system. We'll see if he can get better because that is coaching. I told Smitty that. I said he's staying within the system that allows him to do what he can. He's not doing too much. I thought CJ Stroud played all right, too, for a rookie on a bad franchise.
I agree as well.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just we're seeing these freaks, Brian.
It's tough. These dudes are exceptional athletes, JB. You know, you look at Richardson. He's not normal, man. That dude should be playing linebacker or free safety or something. He's playing quarterback because he's got a cannon. He did make the late in the game when you make him one-dimensional, not dimensionable. Big word for me. But when you make him one-dimensional, it's a little different. You know, the DBs can sit back there and wait for him to throw the football. They can pass rush. It's going to be hard for them early in the season because the coverages may get you sometimes. But man, the athletic ability is unreal. The arm strength is there. I just like watching it play. Just that 1 game, JB. I had 1 game sample size, so don't get too mad.
That's it. Hey, this 1 week. That's all we can do on baseball so far. So
yeah.
Hey,
I'm gonna ask you this, man. Like, I want to ask you about your Chicago Bears. Obviously, I know week 1 didn't go the way that you probably want to.
Or last season. Yeah.
So I mean, what are your expectations going into this year? I mean, people thought with Rodgers leaving the division, it was kind of open for anybody to win, and you guys might take that lead. I think JB was pretty high on you guys going into the season, if I'm not mistaken. What's your take though?
Well, JB, so you put the Bears up there pretty high. What made you think that they were going to be pretty good this year?
Was
it last season?
I like Eberflus, what he did last year. They were in 9 games. They were 3 or 4 point games. I was like, you know what? I'm not discouraged. And in the offseason, I thought they improved the O-line, and I thought they got better at wideout, which them and the Giants, in my opinion, had the worst O-line, the worst outside threats in football last year. And I'm like, all right, I know Justin can throw it, but can he become a passer? There's a difference between a thrower and a passer. Yeah. And I'm like, I know Justin has all the tools. I recruited the kid when he left Georgia, tried to get him to JUCO before Ohio State appeal went through. And I'm like, great kid and all that shit. And I'm like, I would love to coach the dude. But now I've seen him and I'm like, fuck, he's digressed. And I'm like, why are these guys? Brian, I got this take. It's these street agent trainers in the offseason that these guys have as their homies that are really hurting these guys' individual growth. Lamar Jackson, I'm seeing it from him. I'm seeing it from these other guys where Jalen Hurts comes out west.
What is that? I don't know what that means. What's a street agent? I don't know what that means. Like one of these guys in training or
7-on-7 trainer and the 7-on-7 coach and the guy that thinks they know football and they fucking
stay in the building. Stay in the building.
They're leeching off you, right? Yeah. They're leeching off the guy.
Well, stay in your building. Stay with Baltimore. Stay in Chicago. Train with your teammates. Train with your coaches. I mean,
or the coach that's in the NFL.
Agreed. There's a reason they're NFL coaches because they know what they're doing. But I'll go back to your question. Sorry, I wanted to see his take first. There was nothing they had the number 1 overall pick, right? That's not good. Anytime you have that pick, it's not a good thing. So there was nothing that told me that they were going to be competing for a division, especially when you got Detroit coming off the season they had. I understand Aaron left. I thought Green Bay would be down. So far, they're not. Minnesota, who knows what they're going to be? They didn't look bad last night, but they didn't look good. So there was nothing that told me they were going to be competing for that division title. And it's still early. I'll give them that. But God, to go out and lay that egg the way they did against Green Bay that first week was frustrating for me. They're DJ Moore is a badass. The guy they got from Carolina, that dude has performed everywhere he's been. I don't know if he didn't get the ball the first week or what. But besides him, who do they have? Who do they got?
I like
Komet's pretty good. Who else they have?
What's
Mooney?
that kid?
They got Chase Claypool, but everybody online was saying like he was bringing no effort in game. I didn't watch the full game 1, but from what the clips I saw, I don't know what Claypool was.
He's just not getting the ball. He's not getting Mooney. It's Mooney.
Darnell Mooney.
Mooney. I think okay in the slot.
Oh, Mooney's good, but I'm just saying you don't see like there's just not that one big name. Komet's a good tight end. I love Herbert as a running back. That dude's a beast. Let Montgomery go to keep him because he showed up so well last year. But and O-line wise, they didn't look great. So there's nothing there that tells me, and I hope they get good. I hope Justin turns it around. I want them to do well, but they just haven't. It's been frustrating to watch.
Let me ask you something from a defensive standpoint. A linebacker who's taught to read his keys, and it's a guard pulling or it's a back set or whatever you're reading. Do you see the issue on offense in these quarterbacks that don't understand coverage, don't understand who's hot, don't understand how to ID the mic, don't understand protection? When they drop back and number 1 is dead, and then second instinct for them is to run. Don't you think that hurts O-line play though?
I do. Well, that's when you get most of the holdings because you're watching these plays where a guy breaks out of the pocket and they're blocking them, holding them like this, and then when the quarterback runs or the running back goes out, just separate, and then it's holding. But I do think it hurts O-line play because they don't know where he's going to be, number 1. But how do you pull back Justin Fields from doing that? Because the dude is unbelievable when he runs. What do you say? Hey, man, don't be making those awesome plays you made, those 75, 80-yard runs. We need you to stay in the pocket and let our linemen get better. Hell no. You got to let him do what he's going to do. He's going to see things that some guys don't see. So you can't really criticize the guy for doing that. I like the way he plays. I do wish he threw a little better or threw it on time, whatever you want to call it. You would know better than me, JB. But the dude's such a different player at quarterback because of these things he can do running the football.
Let me ask you this. I know Smitty has a question for you. I got to ask you this. We started the show off. What is your take on the Eagles quarterback sneak? And do you think it should be removed or not? Because I'm telling you, as an offensive guy that played quarterback, Sean Salisbury and I, we debate this.
I love Salisbury.
Salisbury loves you, by the way. He said, tell you, say what's up.
Great.
He's going to be in Scottsdale next week, he said, to see if we want to golf.
I'll be here. He got my number.
Yeah. I said, we said, dude, when Jalen Hurts gets his back snapped or Kelsey gets hurt or one of these D linemen, like Roger Goodell in the protect the player rule thing is going to come back to bite him again. Like, I just don't see. Like, when are we going to start sending guys over the top and spearing his ass? Or, like, I'm just trying to figure out.
Yeah. Minnesota tried it last night.
They tried it. It didn't work.
You know what? My son and I were watching. He was like, that play needs to be – and he's a free safety, my son. So he's like, that play's so stupid. They did it 20 times or whatever last year, and it never got stopped. And I go, you can't stop it. But also, before those guys even got to pushing him, he was in the end zone twice last night before they even got to pushing him.
Thank you.
Same way on the 4th and 1.5 yards. He was already at the first down before they even pushed him. So the O-line is getting such a good push. It doesn't matter. There are some times last year, I remember that play where the push did help. But shit, last night, they were 2 yards down the field before those guys. They didn't have their arms weren't long enough to push him because he already had the first down. So I don't like it. Personally, I think it's you can't pull a guy forward. And here's what pisses me off is so when they run that quarterback sneak or when the guys initially stop running the football, whether it's a running back receiver, and then they stop them, but then the O-line comes and start hitting them and taking them 5 yards on the field. They count those yards.
Yeah.
So here's what they should do, damn it. When that happens as a defensive player, when we take them backwards, take their ass back then and make those yards not count. Because it's not fair that when they stop them initially and then those 17 O-linemen, there's 7,000 pounds come and jump on the pile and take them 5 more yards, it counts. No, stop them where they're stopped the first time.
Yes, that's a great point. I never thought about it that way, Brian, because you're right. Like when it flips the other side, they blow the whistle and it's a dead ball, but they let the O-line push it 5, 10, 15 yards. Yeah, that's a hell of a point.
No big deal. Or it's a fumble. It's, oh no, his forward progress will stop. Blah blah blah. I can't deal with that shit. That's the defensive player in me speaking, but it's very frustrating to watch those plays happen.
Yeah. Let me ask you about these injuries, Brian. I got to ask you, all-time high, 270 after week 1. We had 900 last year. Are you contributing it? Because I've talked to Brian Pollard and a couple other guys that play defense and other things, and they're out there like, man, it ain't the damn turf. We had to play on this shit before. It ain't all turf. We had the same things, but a lot of guys are like, it's a turf. And TJ Ward was on yesterday. He was like, it's the turf. Fuck the turf. Rashad Jennings was on yesterday. Fuck the turf. Where you at with this? Is it turf? Is it lack of investment in your body? Is it not playing preseason? Where you at with all this?
I don't know. I don't think so I'll take natural grass every game. People always ask, and we were lucky at Soldier Field. We played on natural grass. I loved it. Was it a little bit slower? Did you lose your footing sometimes? Yeah, that's just the way it goes. But it was the same for both teams. And if it's going to knock down the injury rate, or I don't know the stats or like that, but if it knocks down injuries, put grass in. I know all the Florida teams have grass. And Carolina, they got that fast little short turf. Dudes are running like they're at the combine. But I don't know the stats, like I said, for people getting hurt on that stuff. I don't like playing on it. I know when we play on it, I used to get scuffed up pretty bad for the whole season. It's better than the old shit we used to play on the AstroTurf. JB, you probably know what that stuff was like. It was horrible. It's much better. Yeah, it was much better than that stuff, but at the same time, if you can get grass growing, I think no matter how slow it makes your team or the footing, I think that's the best way to do it. It just makes it better for everybody.
No, that's a good point for sure. That's a good point. Bro, I want to ask you this, man, going back to just the Bears a little bit, man. So, like, just again, growing up, watching you play, man, the culture of Chicago with yourself, you even go way back in the days with Mike Ditka and just year after year, you guys have always been known, right, as the hard-nosed, physical, punch you in the mouth type of play. And I feel like you guys have found another linebacker who had that same mindset with Roquan. But you guys trade him away. What was your take when that happened?
Pissed.
They traded him away, demanded a trade.
No, hold on, JB. Now, they didn't pay. Well, you're right, but still. Okay, so the dude wanted a lot of money. But he, in my opinion, so you draft him in the first round. He performs. You rarely – it's hard to get guys in the first round that perform. And when you do, I think you should pay him. I understand he won $20 million a year as an outside backer. He wasn't the Mike at the time. He was playing the Will in Eberflus defense. But, man, you don't get a lot of players like that to come along very often. That dude's different. He's running a 4.4. He plays – I was not happy with it. I'll just tell you that much. I was very frustrated because they have a pattern of doing this. They'll draft a guy in the first, second round, and then when they start performing – we're going to let him go. We're going to cut him. We're going to trade him. That shit makes no sense to me because you finally hit on a player. You finally got a guy who you've done well with. There's been so many you've missed with in the past, and you got a guy who shows up, plays well, pretty good dude, and you trade him because you don't want to pay him the $20 million that Baltimore just paid him, and now they're benefiting from the money they paid him. But, yeah, I was I just didn't understand it. And you got a second-round pick for him?
Yeah.
Can Roquan Smith, like Patrick Queen's the other backer? Nowadays the backer position's changed. 220, 15.
I know. Yes.
Stop RPO, right? Stop the tempo. Mm-hmm. Is there ever going to be a Brian Urlacher, Lance Briggs combination again? Is that just kind of dead in the water?
Are you talking about size-wise or just what we did?
This combination of two great guys. Is there a
big
combo?
Body, physical, yeah.
Well, look at Devin White, Levante David down in Tampa.
Yeah.
Those two are pretty damn good. And you said Patrick Queen. And Patrick Queen, I watched that game last weekend. Obviously, Roquan is what he is. He's unreal. He's one of the best in the NFL. But Patrick Queen, that dude makes some plays. They didn't renew his contract. So he's playing. He's about to be a free agent and get paid by somebody. So it's good to see him making plays. But I mean, I don't think size-wise, because you look at me, I was 6'4", 255 when I played. Lance was, 6'1", 255, 260. We'll give him that. So I just don't think – but we could run, man. So I think even if we played now, the game is different, but we could run, so it didn't matter what our size was. As long as you got guys – I think Devin White's like 240, isn't he? That dude can fly, too. Yeah, he's like a 4'3" guy. So I think – and these guys are probably, Queen and Roquan, the things they do are different than what Lance.
They're sideline guys, right? They're just flying.
And they're downhill. They're fast. You know, they're all of a sudden is what they are. They just show up out of nowhere, but they're fun to watch. I'll give you that much. And who's the guys in? I'm leaving people out, man. There's so many good players in the NFL right now.
Now this guy's a smaller guy, but I love watching Fred Warner play for the Niners. I mean, the guy
smaller. Fred's 6'4".
How big? Fred Warner 6'4"?
He's got to be 6'4". That dude looks like a monster out there.
He looks like a monster. I don't know why I thought
he's a good football player. I was trying. Who's the other guy that is it? I like him. There's another guy. I can't remember his name.
Shaq Leonard when he's healthy for the Colts.
I'm talking about with San Fran. They got a good system there too. I just can't think of the guy's name. That plays backer for
safety, I think. Tufunga. I can't think of it either.
Yeah. They got some dudes that can play backer there. I know that much.
No doubt. I mean, it's like I said, you know, as I know, shit. I went on a visit to New Mexico.
Greenlaw.
Boom. There you go. Yes. And he's got his arms are like 17 times the size of mine. He's huge arm. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, JB.
No, I'm saying like I go on a visit to New Mexico back in the day. You're there, obviously. Lenny Rodriguez, all our boys.
Yeah, Coach Rod.
The game's changed so much since back then, right? You recruited inline tight ends, 6'6". We tried to get big bodies. Now it's a wholly different game, right? We're more athletic than we've ever been before. Is it just we got to get with the times, or is it a fact that the game has just been changed so much because of the rules? Why is the game? Why are we having all this soft play that everyone thinks? Is it? I want to hear from Brian Urlacher. Is it soft or is it just the change in the tide?
I think it's the way the rules are going to making it softer. You know, I don't think the players, some of them are soft, but the rules are what they are. You know, you want to protect the players now, especially your quarterbacks, your receivers. And it just drives me crazy because there's so many rules geared to the offense. I still don't like the cutting the guys. The cut blocks drive me crazy because, you know, you see these guys getting cut going out with a knee. That's not a concussion, so it's okay. It's just a knee injury. Knee injuries happen in football, so who cares? Who gives a shit about the defensive guys? As long as they're not concussed, it's okay. I can't that mindset drives me crazy because these dudes, we need our knees, man. It's a big deal as well. But the game's just changing. You know, that now, like you said, the RPO, even the RPO game in the NFL has evolved. You know, it was big in high school, then it was big in college. Now it's big in the NFL. Just the way the game's going. The NFL just they don't want to see guys get hurt. And you know what drives me crazy? I don't say fuck very often, but the fucking targeting rule in college. Ooh. I can't stand throwing these kids out of games. You review it. You know, they don't throw a flag, but we have a targeting review. We're going to go review this play, and the running back will change direction at the last second, and the guy hits him in the head with the side of his head, so he's ejected from the game. Do not eject them. If they do it twice, get rid of them. I get it, but the first time, unless it's malicious, you can't eject these kids and suspend them for the next half of the next game. I can't stand it. It drives me crazy. You're hurting their future, I think, because some of these guys could be high draft picks. It just pisses me off. So I'm going to quit ranting, but it pisses me off.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, Ron. I mean, me and JB were on the same page with that, and I think you're messing up these kids' future, especially like a guy like me, right? I went to Ball State, a MAC school.
Nice.
We're not the biggest school in the world, so like every now and then we'll have a big time game, or we might play a Big 10 squad or Big 12, whatever, and that might be my one chance to really go showcase who I am as a player. And first quarter, whatever the case may be, I get ejected because of a targeting play that's really bang bang. Like real football players know there's literally no possible way to just change the position of your body like in a split second.
Mechanically, not
you just can't do it. And we have our target picked out, and if that dude moves and we can't change our launch angle, I know that there are some times like the launching and shit, that's different. You know, when the guys get just hitting the guy under a chin with the top, that's different. But these aren't that. These are guys that are just they happen to graze someone's helmet with their helmet. Now they're ejected for the game and the next week. It drives me crazy.
Hey, let's transition real quick to some college. I want to ask you your take because the college landscape's changed, obviously, from when we played.
Oh, man,
and it's crazy, right? It's a wild, wild west. Deion's come into Colorado.
Free agency. Every year, free agency.
Free agency without a return, though, in my opinion.
Agreed. Yeah, they're gone. See you.
Like Deion's changed the game. Everyone's hyped on that until he falls, and everybody will be against him. But that's that goes. So you can change the game. I've been saying it in college football right now with NIL, transfer portal, etc. You can build Rome in a day. contrary.
You can buy or build whatever you want. Yeah, both.
Can a place like New Mexico do it with the right guy? Like, I think you can. Give me that shit. Like, people don't understand.
Baby, I hear what you're saying. So you have to have money to do that, though. You understand that? And there's not a lot of money in Albuquerque. That's the problem. You know, it's getting. Danny's done a good job of getting people back behind the program, but you have to have money because players want to go where the money is now, and you can't blame them. You know, especially when you grow up with shit, and all of a sudden someone give you $50,000 a semester to go. Oh yeah, and that's probably on the lower end from what I hear. But of course you're going to go. You know, this is the ones that make me mad is when you commit to a school and then you go there and you don't play because you're not good enough or you can't compete. Bitch, you committed to the school, stay there and maybe compete a little better and try and get on the field. Don't transfer because you can't play. I love the ones where you get a kid who's going to like a Ball State and they transfer to a Michigan and they start playing. That's awesome to me.
Right.
I think they've earned that right. They've shown they can do it. They go up there and they go up with the big boys and they play. But, you know, it is what it is. That's what college football is now. My son's going to be in college next year. But that's the way it goes. You know, I don't particularly like it, but I don't think New Mexico can do that because we don't have the money behind the program that a lot of these schools have. Like Colorado's got a ton of money, obviously. They can pay these guys the NIL money, but we don't have that at UNM right now.
But
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say real quick to that. Like, I'm finding, though, like, it's crazy how folks find money because Colorado sure didn't have any money when they were shitty. And then they get a guy in that they're investing in, and they're like, oh, we got money now. I found that to be true. In JUCO, everywhere I've gone and rebuilt places, they were horrible and didn't want to spend money. And then you hear from the former coach, oh, they didn't give me that shit. It's like it's buy-in, right? I think this place, you know, Albuquerque's thriving now, right? Like Albuquerque, Las Cruces. They're kind of
we don't. The oil isn't up in Albuquerque. The oil's down where I grew up in Lovington. That's like 4 hours south, and they're not. You know, they're Texas Tech fans. They're because we're right by those damn Red Raiders. So they're over there. But Albuquerque is not quite the same as the southern part of the state. A little different up there.
JB, I got to bring this back up, and please correct me if I'm wrong. But earlier this summer, didn't you share with the family here a New Mexico story where you were seeing like some type of was it an alien or some shit? Can you please? I wanted to verify that for what Urlacher obviously being from out there. Is that true, Jay? You know what I'm talking about, JB?
Nah. So Brian, I would drive from Kansas and I'd go through that fucking place and I'd drive to California and I always saw some crazy shit. And I can't say
it's in Roswell.
I just saw lights and weird shit. I always saw something weird, and I'm like, damn.
I bet you saw the drilling lights of the oil rigs down there, probably drilling at nighttime. That might have been what you saw.
It could have been. I'm gonna go with that.
By the way, I just drove from Arizona to Kansas. I dropped my daughter off at KU. My first daughter just graduated there from May in May, and then we just rock chat. And then my other daughter decided to go there, so we drove her up there in August. Now she's a freshman there. So what a great place, man.
Hey, Lawrence is a hell of a party college town.
They love it. I'll tell you that much. There's a reason my daughter went there. She, my oldest one and my youngest one visited her a couple of times. She's like, I'm going to KU, no doubt. So, and my oldest one's in law school now.
Going?
He's going to go to Notre Dame.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
Marcus is the man. So I played with Marcus. Marcus and I were teammates for a year in Chicago. We drafted him and then they cut him the next year, but we were teammates for a year. But man, those kids react to Marcus. When we were there at the spring practice, and when he speaks, every one of those kids' eyes light up, and they don't talk. They don't do anything. They pay attention to what Marcus is saying. Demands respect, man. I got a lot of respect for what he's done at that program.
That's the half the battle, man. You get these fucking lists. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's not a
plan that I give out.
Yeah, and you got to be smart to get an ND, by the way. So it's not easy to go to school there. These kids go there knowing football's great, but their education they're getting while they're there, unbelievable. Sam Hartman's a badass too, by the way, this year. He's throwing the ball.
I got him as my most number one off the board. For me, he's the most NFL ready guy, in my opinion. That is
dude's a badass.
I project him to do well in the NFL. I'm not saying, okay, Caleb Williams can win the Heisman. He can win it again. But
for sure. NFL ready.
Well, yeah.
Plus Sam's 26. 23, 24. We've been around. Well, I saw him at the spring game, and I was giving him shit about how old he was. But, man, the dude throws the football on time. He doesn't make – I like guys who don't put the football in jeopardy. He's one of those guys. And they run the ball. Estime is a beast. So they run the ball so well there. It doesn't – I mean, we'll see in 2 weeks. We're going to the Ohio State game next week, so we'll see what they
Ooh,
got.
it's gonna be a big one, JB. We might have to fly out or something. I don't know, man. That's
good
a big
one there,
game.
man.
Hey,
yes.
I got them winning, actually, Brian. I think Notre
Hell
Dame.
yeah, they're going to win.
I think Notre Dame's going to win this.
They got the better quarterback. I know that.
And it's not because Ohio State's down. It's because I think, like you just said, the quarterback's better. They're better on a lot of levels. But Ohio State's quarterbacks are not quite as good this year as they have been in the past.
Yeah. And let me ask you this. For a guy that's watching, looking in, like, if they lose it again to Harbaugh in Michigan 3 years in a row, is he not on the hot seat?
Well, what are they going to be? So they're going to lose to Notre Dame. So they'll be what, 9-2, 10-2, whatever their record is.
Penn State, maybe.
Yeah, they'll be Penn State. They haven't won any big games, but I don't know, man. I like Coach Day, but you can't fire him. I mean, I know that game's a big rivalry. It's hard word for me to say, but I don't know. I don't think you can get rid of him. I mean, I like Coach Day. He gets all the good players, and they got all these great receivers. They're recruiting well. They're winning every year. And this is what it's going to be weird, JB. They're probably going to beat him this year. The last 2 years, they they're big favorites. They should have beat them. Michigan beat their ass. This year, they're probably going to be dogs, and they'll probably beat them. It's so stupid how that works.
Yeah. Hey, does a place like New Mexico with a legendary alum like yourself, do they reach out and be like, "Can we got to get your son"? Does that ever happen? It's
funny. I talked to Coach Gonzalez this morning. He asked if I was coming to the game tomorrow. We're playing New Mexico State tomorrow. That's our rival. So Danny offered my son a scholarship, and he was in 7th or 8th grade. Kennedy was like, huh? He was like, are you serious? And Danny's like, I want you to post this on your – and Kennedy never posted it. He was like, I don't know if he was serious. I go, dude, he offered you a scholarship. He's serious. And then after that, 2 years later, he's getting all these offers from all these other schools. I'm like, see, jackass, they were serious about offering you a scholarship. You missed the opportunity to commit right then to the University of New Mexico.
Damn. Right. So he could have decommitted and go to Notre Dame.
He's going to ND. Yeah, he's going to ND. I'm pumped about that. The problem was he just started. It's weird how these colleges just pile on at once. Like he started getting some offers, and then it was like 10 offers in 2 weeks. I'm like, holy shit! What happened?
It's like a copycat type thing, where it's like some schools will see, oh, they're offering them. Oh, throw our offer out there. The
conferences. The conferences are like, okay, he got an offer from Cal, and Stanford jumped on, and all the West. I'm like, damn, I don't get that. I don't know how this works, but it worked out good because ND gave him an offer, so that was a solid deal right there.
That's huge, man. That's good for obviously football purposes, but life purposes, connections. One of my best friends, Sheldon Day, he's on the practice squad with the Vikings right now. He went to Notre Dame. I'm an Indiana guy myself, from Indiana, so Notre Dame, very prestigious school. And shout out to your son, man. That's big time.
Just long term. It's so great long term. You look at the guys that go to school there, even after football, whatever they do. Sports wise, they do well in life, which is what I'm excited for about him.
Are you going to the game tomorrow? No.
The New Mexico game?
Yeah.
We are in discussion right now about that in my household. So we will see. We'll see if we go or not. Because
is that a flight or a flight?
It'll be a flight. My son plays tonight, so obviously we can't leave tonight. So we'll have to watch his game tonight, and then we could go. The game's at 6 p.m. tomorrow, so we could definitely fly in and fly out on Sunday. But we'll see. I don't know. Discussions ongoing. JB. And
if you don't go, it's golf tomorrow then.
So, tomorrow? I'll be sitting on my ass watching football, dude.
Yeah, he's eating wings. He got the mozzarella sticks and the beer, and he's watching the game.
I play golf during the week a lot, and then when football season starts, man, you rarely catch me on the golf course on the weekend. I'm sitting on I love betting football, man. It's so fun to me. I love watching games that I bet on. I like the actions. It's a great time for me. It gives me a reason to watch all these different games.
Are you good at it? I'm a really bad gambler. I might have to talk to you and get some tips. I'm horrible.
Don't talk to me. Yeah, don't talk to me. You would think I'd be better. I'm too much of a heart better. I think I go with this instead of what I should be doing. But I had a good week one. I'll say that. But last season was not good for me.
Hey, let me ask you, how many miles are you riding bikes every day still?
So I haven't been on my bike since April.
Really?
Yeah, not outside. So, man, I rode 6,000 miles last year. My goal was to get 500 miles a month. I got that, between the mountains, the road, and the canals, and I got that. It's like a fucking job, man. Every day I was like, you got to ride 40 miles today. You're not going to get your goal. So by the time, in December, I got my 6,000 mile like December 14th or 15th last year, and then I just cruised in the rest of the time. I've been getting on the damn Peloton. I get on there 6 days a week. It's so much easier because I can get on there 45 minutes. Burn the same amount of calories, or it says I do. Who the hell knows? Who really knows? And then get out there, drench, jump in my sauna, jump in the pool, and my workout's done for the day. It takes me an hour and a half. So as opposed to riding 40, 50 miles where it takes me 3 hours. So it's easier.
Yeah. Pat's doing the same thing. I go see Pat in Scottsdale. He's on that Peloton 6 a.m. up in his theater and shit. I'm like, he's like, fuck riding this bike anymore on this heat. Not in Arizona. He's like,
oh man, I rode all last summer from June through September. I was dying, man. I my wife had to come get me one day because I was laid up. I was like, babe, I don't know what's wrong, man. I can't see. Come get me. I laid up on a ditch somewhere on the side of the road in the shade until she got there to get me. I got a flat tire. It was a terrible day. My tire blew. I fixed it. It blew again. And then I ran out of water. I was like, come get me. I had to make that phone call. Please come get me. It's terrible.
Man, Arizona is hot as hell.
It was hot.
That don't know Brian Urlacher, I got to let everybody know. Please tell everybody. They might be shocked. Who was your favorite NFL franchise growing up?
Dallas Cowboys.
I know.
Still are. That's my team. How about them on Sunday night? Ooh, man. Michael Parsons a beast. My favorite player in the NFL. Not even close. Yeah, really? Dak's my guy. I know he didn't do much. I know you're probably not a Dak guy, right, JB? Probably not. Yeah. Anyway, you know what my favorite quarterbacks are, JB?
Tell me.
The ones that win, and Dak wins.
He does win in the regular season consistently, but he doesn't really win the big game. I haven't seen the Cowboys in the NFC Championship since before. I'm 29 years old. I think last time they was in the big game, I was just born in.
Yeah. So obviously, I got two Cowboy haters on the show right now. That's okay. That's all right. I always tell right away.
Hey, bro, I do got to mess with you on this though. Again, Indianapolis, Indiana, born and raised.
Oh,
I know. My Colts, unfortunately for you,
we should have played better. Talk to me
about that Super Bowl game, man. That rainy day in Miami. I know, obviously, didn't go in your favor, but you played in the Super Bowl. That's still a hell of a memory.
It was cool. It was fun. It was, I'll say this. Everyone the people, our fans. They're like, "Oh, Rex didn't do this." We gave up 450 yards of offense. They had 250 yards passing and 200 yards rushing. You can blame Rex all you want to. You need to look at our defense because we played like shit. We did have like 3 or 4 takeaways, but we give up. Was it Dominic Rhodes, one of the running backs?
Yeah, Dominic Rhodes and Joseph
Adai. Yeah. Adai was a good football. I think he had 10 catches that game, and then Rhodes had like 120 yards rushing. Adai had 80. So, and say what you want to, we didn't play good on defense. If I had to lose the game, I'm glad it was to Peyton Manning because I have a lot of respect for that man, and he does things the right way. Still does. Love his damn commercials. So and Tony Dungy as well. So if I got to lose to somebody, I'm glad it was that tandem right there.
I will say this, man. Like, if it helps you out, for Indianapolis, for us, man, that was such a huge, huge moment for the city after losing every single year. It seemed like to Tom Brady and the Patriots to finally get over the hump and to win that. It was big for the city. So I don't know if that helps at all, but
hey, congrats. I'm happy for you and your city, bro. Congrats, man. I got my NFC Championship ring. Congrats. I'm glad you got the Super Bowl ring, man. Congrats. Makes me feel so much better. I appreciate that.
Hey, man.
Frustrating.
Before you get out of here, man, I appreciate you coming on like always, man. Who you got winning if all things go right in the perfect world, who do you think will play in the Super Bowl this year?
Besides Dallas. You're saying that besides the Cowboys?
Did you think the Jets had a real shot with Aaron?
Hell yeah. I know, especially after seeing their defense
I know.
the other night.
In the running game, too? Oh, my God.
Yeah, Breece Hall's a monster. I like that dude. I liked him last year before he got hurt. Dude, that's a hard question, man. I still – it's hard for me.
After week 1, right?
Well, I mean, the Chiefs are going to be good. There's no doubt that they're going to be good. They're going to get rolling again. I'll give you some.
I like the Jags, though. I like the Jags being
the Jags are good. The Niners in the NFC are freaking good, man. Those dudes are unbelievable.
Purdy's
a beast. I did like the Chargers before their defense. I'm looking at their names on defense last week. I'm like, Chargers are going to crush Miami. Derwin James, Bosa, Khalil Mack. I'm like, no one's got a chance. 36 points. They couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't get any pressure. They couldn't stop the pass. So they're
Bosa's hurt. I mean,
Bosa's hurt already?
He's hurt?
Hamstring. He may not play.
Oh, shit. That's going to be – thank you for telling me on that. Got to factor that stuff in.
Injuries that we've ever seen. It's crazy to me. I don't get it, man. It's just – I don't know.
But I think – so here's what I also think, JB. With social media and everything going around, and there might have been these injuries before, but you didn't hear as much about them because of the way they're covered now and the way the media is. I do believe that there's always been a ton of injuries, but sometimes you don't hear about them because I shouldn't say this word. Sometimes players just keep them to themselves. And after week 1, if you're not a quarterback or a kicker, you're injured. You know that. After week one, everyone's injured. That's the way it goes. I'm not sorry. You're hurt. You're not injured. There's guys that are injured. There's guys that are hurt. Uh-oh, something just popped up on my screen.
Hey, Brian, I just want to get back to being in ice baths instead of hospitals, though.
Ice bath. Oh, man. The Colts have the greatest thing of all time. I don't know if players use it anymore. My ass was in there twice a day when I played. I love that thing.
I miss it, man. Yeah.
I don't say I miss it, but I'm going to get one in my backyard here because when I do go back to riding my bike, I have to jump right in there after the bike ride. Best thing ever.
I mean, the first minute sucks. It's the worst thing ever. But then your body goes numb and you get out and you feel like a brand new fucking human being.
It's like, damn, my legs are. I can feel my legs again. It's so weird. Like, and you get. I like to do the contrast, go cold to hot or hot to whatever it is.
Yeah,
bro, that's the best. Yeah, your legs are just rejuvenated. You feel like a new man. It's great.
Damn,
hell yeah,
man.
Hey man, I hope if you get to go home and see your rivalry, and good luck to your boy tonight.
Appreciate that.
I gotta come out and see a game. I gotta come out and watch your son play a game, man. And on a night.
They're good, man. Chandler High's got some. They beat a team from California last week. Olathe, Orange.
Olu.
Yeah, and they were numbered like 15 in the nation. We beat them 30. It should have been 55-0, but they blocked the damn field goal, ran back for a touchdown. But yeah, they got our quarterbacks are like 5'7". Not a big guy. Runs like a mofo.
Really?
We had Weddle last year, the number one quarterback in the country, and he transferred to Georgia, a school in Georgia. Now we got Blake. My man Blake can run. Different offense.
Always had good dudes.
Chandler
had a time. Fuck.
We got a kid going to Utah. We got a kid going to Illinois. Dude chose this. I shouldn't say this. He had offers from Oregon, Utah, and he chose Illinois over those two. I know why he did it. But, I mean, those are some good offers. And he's our running back, and my son going to Indy, obviously. Anyway, I'll quit talking. I'll get off you guys' show.
Now you're good, man. You're good. This is great. Hopefully we can bring you on more, man. And, hey, JB, if we do go out there to watch his son play, let's spend the weekend. Watch his son play, shoot an episode live, and we'll get back
to
it. Man. That'd be
watch football. We'll sit on my couch and watch football.
Oh, yeah. You know that. I'm coming. We got to hook up. Pat wants to hook up and play anyway. He'll have 4 months off pretty soon. So
I know. How about their schedule? I love their schedule.
Shit. Make that money and then get all that time off.
And then you get all the time off. That's what it's supposed to be. Those dudes are the best in the world at golf. Pay them as much as you can, and then give them all. I love it, man. I love live golf. I love PGA golf.
I'll be out there soon. And good luck. Thanks a lot for coming, man.
Guys.
Always, and have to get you on before the